as an entrepreneur or a business owner? Are you listening? Are you present? Are you hearing what your customers need? Are you listening for opportunities to be of service and to figure out, what does a person need, whether it's from your business or some of even your business partners where you may not personally be in that moment gaining financially. Welcome back to the Catalyst Podcast. I'm your host, Sonia Pedowick, and today we're going to talk about the customer experience, the client experience, and how to engage with them, how to have them coming back for more, and really just what that's all about for you as the business owner, and really just what that all means for you when creating that experience and wanting to elevate that customer experience, elongate that, even when it comes down to like your pricing and charging your worth. And so I want to touch on that from a client experience perspective and what you're doing as a business owner to create that lasting experience. And so think about that when you're working with someone, what you're looking for when you are the customer. It's interesting because I'm going through this experience right now where I was seeing an endocrinologist who I really love. And I actually was seeing him since since February of 2019. And I only see him twice a year, and it's really hard to actually get in on his calendar. And I actually have to mark my calendar when to make those appointments because he's so busy. And so the time came where it was time to make my appointment with him. And I got this automated recording that he had closed his practice. And he had closed his practice in October. And so I was like, what happened? Like, I didn't get that notification. It said, we're closing our practice in October. You have until November 15th to bring in a flash drive to get your records. And here I am this was about a month ago. And I was like, wait a minute, I didn't get this notification. I love this doctor. It took me about a year to find a really good endocrinologist. And if anyone knows what medical care is like in Nevada, you know how hard it is to find a really good doctor. And so I went online and I was searching and I found some Yelp reviews, and it turned out he had gone to a concierge service. So I tracked him down at this concierge service and talked to the lady there. And she said, in order for me to even get my records now or to have a conversation with him, it would cost me $1,000. And I was like, what? Here's this doctor that I adored, that I loved, and the reasons why I loved him was when I was with him for my appointment, he was extremely present. He was very conversational, very in-depth. I wasn't rushed through. My appointments would last 30, 40 minutes, catch up with me on how I was feeling, would praise me on the changes I had made in my life, go through all my medical labs, my history, really, he would feel my thyroid. I had been to actually some endocrinologists who never even touched my thyroid, which if you know anything about Hashimoto's, a lot of it has to do with whether or not your thyroid is swollen. Your doctor should at least check your vitals, at least touch your neck area where your thyroid is. I had been to 2 in this town that never even touched my body during an exam, which I thought was really interesting. And so I was really upset because I spent since 2019, here we are in 2025, with a doctor who I really enjoyed that experience with. And now I was going to have to pay $1,000 just to get my medical records, just to get my prescription renewed. And I thought, wow, you just negated all of this customer experience and wouldn't even meet me where I was at to help me get on to my next doctor. And that was extremely frustrating. And so I picked up the phone and called my other favorite doctor, who happens to be my OBGYN, who I call for everything. And the medical care that I get there is amazing. The assistant had a conversation with Dr. Joe. I explained my situation. They immediately refilled because mind you, I'm out of my medication now. I can't get a refill. I'm scrambling to get a new endocrinologist who are all now booked 30, 60, even out till August, September of 2025. We're in April. So I can't now get another doctor to get me a new prescription. And this is medication I have to take every day for my thyroid. And I was just thinking the whole customer client experience is just ruined. And I have to start all over and build this relationship with the doctor. And meanwhile, my OB is like, don't worry about it. the nurse that I work with, Nicole over there, is like, let me take care of it. Let me refill your prescription. Try to get in with one of these doctors. Here's 3 or 4. I researched your healthcare plan. I found out who's covered by your insurance. Here's a few that Dr. Joe really recommends. See what you can do. Here's one that tends to have a great cancellation list. And lo and behold, within a few days, I've got an appointment actually in a week. My prescription is filled for a few months, so I'm covered there. And I just thought that is the kind of care that you want, where they meet you where you're at. And how does that translate into business, right? Because it's not this old adage that the customer is always right, because, I wasn't looking to be that way. I just want my medical care to be taken care of. But when you're on either side of the table, you are looking for a win-win. You are looking to meet the customer or the client that you're working with, or the vendor who's providing service, where they're at, and figure out, how can we both win in this situation? And I really felt like, Nicole at my OBGYN's office was really listening to me. And when I called the new endocrinologist office, the lady, Anna, who I just spoke with, she's like, gosh, we've heard a lot about this office that closed, and let me see what I could do. We keep a very strong cancellation list because things happen, people get sick. Usually in the endocrinology field, there's a lot of people who are also diabetic or have some other ailments. And so that list fluctuates quite a bit. She told me, she said, originally scheduled me for August, but called me 15 minutes later and said, hey, we have a cancellation. Would you like to come in on April 30th? And I was like, of course I would. And just really listening to what it is your customer needs. And so how does that translate to you as an entrepreneur or a business owner? Are you listening? Are you present? Are you hearing what your customers need? Are you listening for opportunities to be of service and to figure out, what does the person need, whether it's from your business or some of even your business partners, where you may not personally be in that moment gaining financially. So my OBGYN doesn't necessarily gain from me financially in that moment any services or payment, but sure as heck, I'm referring that OBGYN all the time because of the service that they provide for me. I've referred countless people to that OBGYN service because they take care of all of me all of the time. It doesn't matter if I need something that has to do with my OBGYN needs or my endocrinology needs or anything else that has happened in the 20-something years that I've seen their service. I usually call them, get advice, and they're always taking care of me. And therefore, I'm always referring to their service. So as a business owner, are you thinking about the customer that's in front of you? How can you meet them where they're at and listen to the needs? Are you fully present in those one-to-one conversations that you're having with them? What's going on in your business? What's going on in your life? How can I support you as the vendor right now for the needs that I'm trying to provide for you? But what else is going on in your business? What's happening in the other areas of your business? I may be providing this one singular service to you. I may be selling you this particular widget. But what comes before this widget? What comes after this widget? How is this widget then being sold in your business? How is it getting out to your customers? Have you ever thought of also doing this service? And who do I know that can also help you with that? How are you marketing it? How are you selling it? How are you doing your books? Who's helping you in these other ways in your business that I, as this particular vendor, as this coach, as whatever it is that you're doing, how can I help you? And that just pays so many dividends in your business to be that provider, to be that service center. And that customer that you're working with is going to come to you every single time. And then when they're out in the market and they're working with a customer that comes before or after you or could use your services, I can't believe that they wouldn't also be, you know what, when I'm working with Sonia, she's thinking of me in these areas. I also want to be thinking of her in these areas. It's a great way to create ripples within the small business community and create a referral network that will absolutely keep your name. There's a saying of like, who is talking about you when you're not in the room? Those are the people that you want to be always doing business with. And so that actually really parlays nicely into why a mastermind is really good, because in a mastermind setting, the people at the table are all very unique in different businesses. You'll have someone from different industries, from different walks of life, and they become your network of business opportunities to work with. We just launched our incubator group last night, and we had somebody in cybersecurity, in HR, in finance. We had someone in health services. We had someone in baby rental businesses, and these are all unique businesses. And as everyone was introducing themselves in our point A class, which is our first class, at the end, everyone was like, wow, because they don't know each other before. They were like, wow, it's so unique to hear that all of these unique businesses are happening in the Las Vegas community. And each one of them are kind of thinking already, I have someone who could use your services. I didn't even know there was a business that was like that and available right here in the community. I could see the wheels turning already within that small group of 7, 8 people, how they could already help each other, how they could support each other. And being in a mastermind setting is one of the best ways to have those relationships with other business owners who are either day one starting a new business, are a year into their business. Sometimes they're 5 to 10 years already in a business. They have a wealth of knowledge of what they're doing in their different businesses, but they're all unique in what they are doing, what services they're providing, the network of people that they're working with, and a network of people that they can share your business with in their own world and the people that they're talking with. If you like what you saw today on the Catalyst podcast, make sure you subscribe to our show, like it, and share it with someone who you think might also find value.